Okay, I'm gonna try this recording again. Battery died as I started the last recording. Gonna show some things I've been up to. Just wanted to show you. This is the book that I bought today, and this is the watercolor book. It's a sketchbook. It's 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. And this reminds me of the Moleskine, but this is Hobby Lobby's version of it. And I bought this, actually, one of these like this in the beginning part of October, and didn't really know if I'd like it. Well, I'm liking how it's turning out, so I was on the search for a new one. Finally able to find one today, as I said earlier. And I know you've seen some of this already, but I'll just sort of show you again how this is working. And you can see I'm about halfway through this already. Cut a couple pages out because of the thickness. But this is what I've gotten done since October, since I started this project. You've seen this page before. This is my Chicago page from when I went to Chicago, beginning part of October. Sorry, trying to get this in better. So you saw those pages that I've done before in a journal. And then this was about the politics of the election this fall. And then we had, of course, the beautiful fall colors. Next page, I'm still not done with it, but just sort of wanted to go back to this page. I actually missed one, but I'll show you this. Getting ready for holidays was just really crazy. Every one of us were running around so much trying to get stuff done. I decided to take a couple extra days. So I come home and I happen to have this calendar and saw these chickens on it. I think they're roosters, but whatever. And I got this theme in my head about running around like chickens with their heads cut off. So this is sort of where this page came from. It's watercolor base with crayons, about 4 shades of red, orange, and yellows in there. Then I took some white paint and did some stenciling as backgrounds. These are all stencils that I purchased from a company called iStencils, and they're nice. They're cut. They're very detailed, but they're very thin. And the disadvantage is you can't really see it on this one, but this one really came cut irregularly. They're supposed to have nice, clean, crisp circles, but as you got a couple more, some of them actually were almost totally lifted off. So anyways, that's the theme of that, and I'm going to do a little journaling down here about running around like chickens with their heads cut off, getting ready for the holidays. The page that I didn't show you previous to that was a page that I had also done one night coming home from work. And you just, you know, with the stress getting around and stuff like that. And this is what I'm doing with this. This is some journaling with it. I was doodling at first, drawing all types of screws, and really didn't like the way it's looking. Not really a drawer. I can doodle a little bit, but nothing spectacular. So then I got this thought in my mind running around. Let's go ahead and do the journaling like they say. If you look really close, and I don't know if you can see it, there's a lot of journaling about what happened that week, why I felt like I was being screwed, basically in life pretty well. Co-worker was not following through on her behalf, but I was the one that more or less got called because papers had not been filed, even though they were filled for her to file the rest of the way. And just every time I turned around, it seemed like I couldn't do anything right. I was just a screw up all week long. So that inspired this paper page. I do a little hand journaling down here. What is different on this page is I did a lot of stenciling and did some watercolor sprays that I have. I've had these sprays forever and ever. As you can see, there's some stencils there. There's 1, 2, 3 stencils, ABCs. Now that is actually with the Lindy's Stamp Gang sprays, so I really like how those, because that glimmers. And then the other thing they did with this a little bit different is I did some gessoing over it to tone the colors down, and then I did overspray again with another spray, and basically stenciled again. And what's different in this page was my first attempts at doing the transfer technique, where you take a piece of clip art, which is what these screws were. I don't know if you can see that. Those are screws. Maybe you can that way. And the same thing with the screwdriver down here. And I basically did a piece of clip art and did a toner, and then I did use the gel medium to transfer. That's a screw clamp right there. And basically transferred it onto the page. And So that was my first attempt on doing that. I'm learning more and more about layering as I watch more Journal Artista and I Carry Love and Les Hager, and just wanted to give a plug to the Dirty Footprints studio, and I did sign up to do the 21 Secrets tutorial, so I'm hoping to learn a little more things about that. But I am getting to that point where I'm starting to venture into some different areas, and a combination of what I worked on over the weekend is the next page. And basically, I had a feeling like we were running around and I was screw up and getting everything wrong. It just seemed like the time really flew, and this is what this theme for this page is. I did a lot of different things on this that I haven't done before. Number one, this is actually 4 pages combined overall. I'd had the steampunk paper from Graphic 45 for quite some time. Couldn't decide what I wanted to do with it. I knew I wanted to do something special with it, and one night last week I could not sleep and ended up having this epiphany came to me about time flying by and getting out of control, because I knew all these things were in there. Got to thinking about what all my stamps were. So my first thing was I ended up painting my background with 3 colors of watercolor paint, which was like a yellow green, a medium green, and then like a turquoise green. Did a lot of texturing on this, in the fact that I have some texturing background stamps here. This is these little spots. I'm going to bring that up so you can hopefully see what I'm talking about. That is all stamped with Teal Memories ink, or Teal's ink. I can't remember. I think it's Memories. And then I also have the glitz, some glitz texturing, and that's like a map there. That's in brown ink. And then I took some of the Graphic 45 paper, tore it, you can see the butterflies, put it along the edges a couple of places. Did some of the stenciling with the Tim Holtz mask, which is this one here and this one. I also had some more faces and things like that that sort of went with the theme of her face. Did those in brown. Did a lot of distressing of the edges. This is 2 pages cut and wove together, and then I do not sew, but I did sew these as an X, and then I did over distress them with a little distressing ink. I also have some speckles in here with water to make the watercolor pop out. I have some other stamping here in the corner for the word art. She's all hand cut out and lifted, and basically there's a little thing in the corner that says time flies, and this is also cut from the paper. I've got an edge along the top of it done in brown. The back side, which to hide my stitching, are little pot cutouts from the Graphic 45 paper. This is a little better view so you can see the blotch stamp that I used. This is a Tim Holtz face out of one of his pads. I crumpled it up, distressed it, and then I also put some crackle paint over it and got that going quite a ways. I got the gear up in the corner with the mask. I also took this as some graphic off of the computer that I downloaded from our website, and I can't think of the website. Anyways, this is on cheap photo paper, and not knowing what was happening, all of a sudden it was like starting to peel off, and then I realized it was a cheap paper, not too good to use. But then I liked how it sort of distressed itself, so I ended up putting that in the corner as well, and I'm getting a glare. And this is also a hot air balloon stencil here, and a lot of different things going on in the background. Then I cut out some of the little butterflies and put them on my little spot. And then to draw to the charting of the week is a black hand stamped here. This basically just tells me how the week was long and up and down all week. The gears were always running non-stop, trying to get ready for the holiday. And then to make this a little interesting, I made these tags. Basically, this is one of the tags from the Graphic 45 paper, and put some of the background paper on it. Distressed it quite a bit with my distressing tool. I actually did this Saturday night watching tutorial on Ustream. And then this is one of the other ones, and then just put some paper on that. I can journal some more on this about the week of ups and downs and things like that, but then that just slides back into these slots. And so this sort of a combination where I'm getting into bringing other materials in and other collageable items and just bring it to another level. There's also quite a bit of oil, the portfolio oils along the edges of it to bring that out. I've got some white pastel chalk pencils on here, and I really like how this turned out. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite pages I've done in a long time, even out of my books that I've done for pages for my scrapbooks. This is probably one of the most detailed, but it didn't take me too long. I mean, it took me most of that evening, and what I've been doing is I'm painting one night, 1 or 2 pages, and then I go back and do the work on it after that, like on the weekends, because I don't really have a lot of time in the middle of the week. So I'm finding that this is really working, and I'm getting a lot of inspiration. I've started my next page, and my next page hopefully you'll see done in a week. And that was over what I did over my 2-day weekend vacation that I took. So that'll be the next thing that you'll see. Alright, I'm going to film a third video and hopefully get all these downloaded tonight. And the third video is to show you where I went over the weekend, which I'll explain a lot in the next video. Have a great evening.